Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're jumping into a story that, well, it pretty much flips everything we think we know about nature completely on its head. It's a story about a friendship so wild it really forces you to rethink the rules of the animal kingdom. All right, let's just start with this wild claim from John Reinke, the zookeeper who literally saw this whole thing happen with his own eyes. He says it's the only friendship of its kind ever seen in the world. And honestly, when you see these two together, you get why he'd say that. I mean, just look at this. It just doesn't make any sense, right? On one side, you've got Bonedigger, this massive 500-pound Barbary lion. And on the other, you have Abby, an 11-pound dachshund. You know, in the wild, one is the king of the jungle, and the other one is, well, it's lunch. But yeah, this isn't that kind of story at all. Down at this animal park in Oklahoma, Bonedigger and Abby have been best buds since they were just a cub and a puppy. They've basically grown up together, and you just can't pull them apart. So you gotta be asking, how in the world does something like this even happen? Well, the key to this whole thing seems to start with Bonedigger himself. You see, he was born with something called metabolic bone disease, which meant he was a little bit crippled and just vulnerable right from the start. And it was that vulnerability, that weakness, that seemed to flip a switch in Abby and her little dachshund pack, Milo, Bullet, and Angel. It's like they could sense this giant cub needed help, and instead of being afraid of him, they just moved right in to comfort him, to protect him. So their whole life together just fell into this incredible routine, you know? It's all about affection and taking care of each other. I'm talking cuddling, sharing meals, and we're talking raw meat here, with zero aggression, and just playing all day long. And through it all, these tiny little dogs are fiercely protective of their giant disabled buddy. And believe me, this isn't a one-way street. The connection is so incredibly strong that if you ever have to take the dogs out of the enclosure, even for a little bit for cleaning, this 500-pound lion just loses it. He starts pacing, whining, he's totally distressed until his tiny friends are back. But here's the thing. As amazing and unique as Bonedigger and Abby's story feels, it's not a complete one-off. It's actually part of a much bigger and honestly pretty mind-blowing pattern we're seeing in the animal kingdom. I mean, you look around the world and you find these stories that just make you scratch your head. Like there's a sanctuary where a bear, a lion, and a tiger, who were rescued as babies together, have been living like brothers for over a decade. Brothers. Or the famous gorilla Coco, who would gently care for these little kittens like they were her own. We even see it in zoos where they'll pair an anxious cheetah with a calm support dog to help it cope. It's amazing. But maybe the most famous story of them all, the one you might have even seen a video of, is Christian the lion. Back in the late 60s, he was bought from a department store in London, raised in an apartment, and then eventually taken to Africa to be released into the wild. A year goes by, and his old owners came back, and they had no idea what to expect. Would this now wild lion even remember them? Well, what happened next is the stuff of legend. An absolutely beautiful, emotional reunion. And his owner, John Rendell, said it best. We were Christian's pride. For this lion, family had nothing to do with being the same species. It was all about that connection, that love. And the stories just keep piling up. You've got Tara, a house cat, who literally body slammed a dog to save a little boy. Or how about Dindim, a penguin who, for years, would swim thousands of miles every single year just to visit the man who saved his life. So, what does all of this tell us? It shows that there's something way, way deeper going on here than just raw animal instinct. These friendships are built on real things, like empathy or shared hard times, or just plain old affection. It's like proof that a social connection can actually be stronger than biological programming. So when we look at these friendships that just defy all logic, a lion and a dachshund, a human and a penguin, we're not just looking at some cute viral video. We're seeing something profound. We're seeing that the ability to connect, to feel empathy, isn't just a human thing. It's universal. And really, if animals can look past every single instinct, every natural barrier to find a friend, maybe it makes you wonder about the boundaries that we as humans put up ourselves, doesn't it?